Hello again, sci-fi fans. We are back again for more question and answers on SpaceBoots. So our first question today comes from Natalie from Alberta. Her question is a space elevator a real thing? Space elevators are plausible. This was first proposed in the late 1800s, but it was for a building tall enough to reach into geosynchronous orbit. And if you get that tall enough, high enough off the Earth, an object just let go at that height will be going fast enough that it will be in free fall. Obviously there are no materials strong enough to make a building like that. The idea was revisited in the 1950s with the concept of the tether, but again, no material strong enough. In the 90s, when carbon nanotubules were discovered and started to be experimented with, the idea resurfaced. Maybe this is a possible thing. And in a recent meeting of several scientists about this particular topic in 2019, it was thought to be quite plausible and closer to reality than was previously thought. Natalie also wants to know, would they really be cleaning toilets by hand in 2061? I really hope not. There's no way. Not on Mars or Earth or Moon or wherever else humans happen to be living. Our little robot vacuum cleaners will have a toilet attachment. That's just got to be the case. However, if somebody has parents like mine, they would still be cleaning toilets by hand because it builds character and it teaches you to learn how to work. And my kids have parents like that. And also, Leo's in the Navy and he needs to build character. So there's no way they're going to have something that does not clean toilets without somebody scrubbing it by hand. Natalie also asks, were you in the Navy? That needs to be said in Aunt Bethany's voice. Is Rusty still in the Navy? No, Aunt Bethany. Is your house on fire, Clark? Don't throw me down, Clark. I'll try not to, Aunt Bethany. I did live in Norfolk, Virginia for a while, and I felt like I was the only person there who was not in the Navy, but I was not in the Navy and I've never served in the military. A big thanks to those who have and those who do, and I hope that I have painted an accurate and respectful view of what military life might be like in the future in the U.S. Space Navy. Natalie asks, did you ever live in any places in your book? Scranton, PA. Ain't no party like Scranton party, because the Scranton party don't stop. Actually, I wouldn't know if that's the case. I know Michael Scott said so, but I've never lived in Scranton. Couldn't tell you. I've never lived on a starship yet. Never lived in Los Angeles, California, though I have visited. I also visited Carlsbad. I loved Legoland. I've never been to Earth orbit yet. I've not been to Jupiter orbit. I've never been to or lived in Annapolis, Maryland. And I think that's all the places. I feel like I need to answer yes to something. I guess I have worked in some of those settings. I worked in an aircraft hangar, which is not the same as a starship hangar, but close. I've been in a surgical suite as a student and also as a surgical assistant to the surgeon. So I saw some tubal ligations, appendectomies, cholecystectomies, inguinal hernia repair, hip replacements, knee replacements, bunion surgeries. Once I was helping with a gangrene infected surgical wound. That was scary and kind of a mess. One-time thing, cool to have seen, and glad I don't work in surgery anymore so I can avoid those things. Another question from Natalie. Are the technologies you talk about possible in 2061? I hope so, in some form. I don't know if humans will be orbiting Jupiter in 40 years, but we should be, I think. We will be on Mars for certain, on the Moon also. We'll probably have some trade going back and forth. That'll be exciting. So that means some kind of mass transportation. SpaceX currently estimates they'll be able to pull it off in about 4 months travel time between Earth and Mars. And we'll get to watch movies instead of be seasick the whole time. No scurvy either. My guess is the medical stuff will actually be surpassed. In 2061, somebody will read SpaceBoots and they'll think, "Aw, that's so quaint." Another question, electrocorticography chips. How real are they? The weird part is they are real already, and they are a computer chip that is designed to interface directly with neurological tissue. So electrical nerve conduction can then create a response in the circuitry of the chip. What they can't do yet is be implanted in your head and function, but it's a matter of time before that happens. It's kind of cool and scary. It'll unlock all kinds of new amazing things we can do with our brains and with computers. It'll create some problems, just like every new technology. The puppy wants out. Will SpaceBoots have a sequel? When? And where will it take place? SpaceBoots will have a sequel, absolutely. It's several chapters long as we speak, actually. It should be around and available to read in 2021. That's my plan. I did sign a non-disclosure agreement with my brain, so I can't tell you very much about it, but I can tell you that Mars may be involved. Mars the planet, not Mars the Roman god of war, because that's also the same guy as Ares, the Greek god of war, and Wonder Woman took him down hard. There is no coming back from that crater. And the last question from Natalie is, what other projects are you working on? I am making fantasy RPG supplements for my solo sandbox RPG in a card box called Lone Wilderlands. I've also got some freebies that I'm working on to give away to those who subscribe to my weekly newsletter, and that is at dwdaltonadventures.com. And that is it for questions for today. Thank you, Natalie from Alberta. Check out SpaceBoots on Amazon. I am Derek William Dalton, and happy adventuring.